Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap morning homework session and trade plan setup for Tuesday, March 11th, 2014. For those that are visiting us for the first time, Quantum Leap is a self-organized learning environment. We come together, we have a private Skype group. This is not a commercial venture, this is a private venture. And we come together each morning to do our homework, set our charts up, look at the market structure and where the levels are, set our levels up, and set our targets up. So if you're interested in finding out more about us, you can give me an email. My email is d.mckay@stealthtrader.com. Before we get going, I've got to get legals out of the way, so let's do that. This information is for the purpose of educating members who want to expand the knowledge of the business of trading. It's not for trading or investment advice. Only you are responsible for the trades or investment decisions you make. Trading futures or any instrument involves risk loss. Please consider carefully whether futures or options are appropriate to your financial situation. Only risk capital should be used with trading futures or options. Investors could lose more than their initial investment. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and any trades you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please do your own due diligence, trade your own plan. Okay, so each morning we come together and we go through and we start with a micro to macro view. And if you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, this is our routine that I go through every morning and to prepare myself for trading. It's kind of basic in the beginning. We go through the key numbers, then we look at the trends from the macro to the micro. So you might want to skip ahead on the video if you just want to see the in-depth chart analysis and how we set up our trade day. So, of course, yesterday we had a neutral day. Our main hypothesis was to rotate in around this new balance area between that 1778 area and the 1765.50 area, and we did exactly that. We hit all our targets for the day. We did wait until the last 15 minutes to go up and tag that naked close at 1877.75, but pretty good day. Numbers were hit. So, of course, our big bogey above us right now is 1887.50, the all-time high, the year high, the month high, the week high, all kinds of highs. And, nothing really jumps out in terms of, we've got 1846, but we're, 30 some odd points above that. And, our month low is down there at that key area, 1832.25. Remember, that's that old micro-composite VPOC from December 23rd through to January 23rd. So nothing else really in the big numbers. Yesterday opened the Globex for Monday at 1875.50. That's also our week open, so you want to pay attention to 1875.50 now. Our Globex high, 1878.75, is our week high. Our Globex low, 1867.75, and then we opened the RTH session, and you all know that was the number that I was talking about yesterday as the one that you wanted to trade off of. Above 74.50, you wanted to get long into that 77.75, and below it you wanted to get short into that 71.75 with a possible push through to the other side of balance down at 65.50, 66 area. Of course, we opened auction in range, which we said would be very choppy. It was. And then we ended up with a neutral day. We broke the ID to the upside and to the low side. Actually, we broke it to the low side first, then broke it to the upside later in the day. Always remember that neutral days give you a good probability for a neutral day following a neutral day, or at least a rotational day. So just pay attention to that. And of course, one of the things that we look for on the opening swing to give us a clue on what type of day that we should expect is that opening swing. Is it greater than 2 or less than 2? If it's greater than 2, the market on open orders have disparity in their perception of value, and you're likely to get some rotation, which we did yesterday. Initial balance high, 77.25. Initial balance low, 69.50 for a 7.75 point initial balance. Yesterday we had lower RTH numbers. We had the same 1230 number. Now all times in here, by the way, are in Central Time, and then we had a lower high, lower low, lower close, and a lower VPOC. VPOC for yesterday is 1873, and it will be naked until we go tap it. The ranges are, stabilizing now in around that, just over 14 and a half, 14 3/4, just under 17 and 3/4 for the full session, and just under 10 and a quarter on the Globex. Nothing else really jumps out. We had 2 days now. We've had lower value area high yesterday, 76.50, value area low, 1870 with a 6.5 point. I was looking at this earlier this morning. So far in 2014, we've had a shift in the IB. I do an IB break study, the IB being your first hour high, first hour low. And the highest probability for an IB break is actually in the first 15 minutes between the 9:30 and the 9:45 Central Time. But so far in 2014, if you go and you look, and I pull in all the numbers from the beginning of the year, you can see that we've actually shifted that pocket. And the most probable time, or the average time for the IB to be broke now, is right around that 10 o'clock range. So kind of like it's falling back under the RB3. RB3 is a reference bar, the first 30-minute bar. So you've got a little bit of a shift in, when the IB is broken. And again, I've talked about this earlier in the year, where the reason for this is the Bears and the Bulls have been battling it out to stay above the 1837.75, which is our year open. So I think that's going to continue to play out. So look for IBs to be broken a little bit later. Let's go take a look at the daily report. There's no real news today. We've got jobs, JOLTS job openings and wholesale inventories at 9. So just be careful in that first hour. I'm sorry, that's Central Time. It's just coming up now in the next 5 minutes. So we'll see if we get a pop. In terms of the ATR targets, we've got full session high so far at 1879, full session low at 1873.75. So the 20-day average true range target to the upside, 1891 and a quarter, and to the low side, 1861 and a quarter. And this is actually an interesting number because it falls right near the microcomposite range low that we're going to take a look at on the composite. So let's go take a look at our macro to the micro and the trend. I always do this to make sure I understand where we are and never forget where we are in the different time frames of the trend. Of course, any of the charts that you see, you'll see a 9 EMA and a 20 SMA. Those are the two MAs that I like to watch. And of course, we've got a bit of a parabolic move here. We've had this just unbelievably powerful. We've been up 21 months of the last 27 months, and we have not closed below the 9 EMA since going all the way back here to January of 2012. Or no, that's not January of 2012. Sorry, that is May of 2012, and we have not closed below the 9 EMA since. So very strong trend on the monthly. Good slope and separation. Trend is very much intact on the monthly. On the weekly, we had that bit of weakness coming in January, but then we popped up and we're back off to the races. We've got slope and separation. Got a bit of a technical gap right here against the 9 EMA, but the trend is very much intact on the weekly. On the daily, we talked about yesterday about the possibility of coming down and closing this technical gap that we created, and look what we did. We went right down to our main key level and closed that technical gap. Buyers stepped in. We said yesterday, look for responsive buyers in around that 65.50 area to step in and hold us above, and they did, and now they popped us up, and we're trading above yesterday's high right now. So trend is very much intact on the daily. We've got good slope and separation. Now I want to take a look at the geometric chart. I know this is looking a little bit convoluted. There's 4 different forks on this chart. There's the long-term fork that we've been watching for months. Then there was that intermediate fork that we added a couple of weeks ago, which is this one right here, the center line. And then I've added a downward sloping opposing fork, which is this center line right here, and then this red one. And again, I'm colorblind, so I call them colors out, but hard for me to do that. But so there's 4 forks on here, and it looks kind of jumbled right now, but we've got good frequency on this opposing downward sloping fork. So I'm really watching to see if we hold in this. And a test of the upper line today will bring us up to that 1885 area. That will just be slightly lower than the all-time high at 1887.50. So I'm seeing if they hold within here, because there still is this energy point that is scheduled for later this week, and if we do get a sell-off, this will be my main target below. And then with adding these other forks, we're getting a pretty strong energy point, and this is all the way down here at and it's not due to show up until the 21st of the month, but it's down at that 1785, well, the big number down there, as you all know, is 1781.50. So I'm just watching this. It's not giving me a lot of information to trade off of today. If we do get a sell-off today, you might want to look for it to come down and test the center line of this new intermediate upward sloping fork, and test the center line of that, which will also give us a test of the daily 20 SMA. But other than that, it's not really giving me much information. I'm just seeing how it starts playing out. But I do like the frequency that we're getting with this this downward sloping fork, and this energy point is interesting. But it's not going to help us for today. So let's go back and just take a look at the the intraday trends now, see where we are coming into the market. Again, nothing is giving us any information as far as the trend with the 4-hour. We're just consolidating sideways for the last couple of days. Going down to the 30-minute, we had a nice pop in the last 30-minute. We're breaking out, but basically the same thing. We have had consolidation on the 30-minute. Of course, the 5-minute is going to show us that going into the RTH session, that we're getting a bit of a trend upward. Now we have created a technical gap on the 5-minute. So, and we got a possible Mr. Sneaky right here. So, and this could also, well, not so much a foobar, but you definitely got a topping pattern here. Probably get a retrace, kind of a combination of both time and price to come down and close this technical gap right here. And the technical gap is when price action moves too far away from the 9 EMA. It has a very high probability of closing that technical gap, and that's something that you can go and study yourself. Let's go take a look at the big picture and get an idea where we are within the market. Of course, we were watching when we came up, when we broke out of this this balance area right here. Just bring that back in. When we broke out of this balance area, that shifted the microcomposite VPOC up to that 1841.75 area, 1841 and a quarter. We held the first 2 days up here. We held and we accepted value in around the 2-day microcomposite. You can't really see this. I'll just bring it to the front. You can see that the first 2 days volume point of control was this 1871.75. Then they broke up, and they broke out of that, and the next 2 days they held around this 1877 area. And I've added the 3rd day in, so we've got 2 very strong points of value that people have accepted. The overall 5-day microcomposite VPOC is still that 71.50, so that value is being accepted right now. In the last 3 days, we're holding value up here in around that 77, 76, 75 area. So, and we're trading currently above that at 78, 75. So 2 levels that you want to keep an eye on. I'm just going to expand this out a little bit more. You've got the CLVN here at 78 1/4. If we can hold above 78 1/4, you want to look for a rotation back up to this 79.75 CHVN. It is also the 3-day value area high. 70% of all the value all the trading was in the value area for the last 3 days, with the value area high being 79.75. And then the value area low for the last 3 days is 72 1/4. So, and then you've got the 78 1/4, which is the value area high for the whole 5-day microcomposite. So this is a key area that we want to see hold if we're going to see them go up and try to take out that high. And you all know how I feel about all-time highs being put in the Globex. Our all-time high was put in the Globex. Our RTH all-time high is 1884.75, and those don't generally hold. The RTH traders will usually go and take out that all-time high and equalize the all-time high. What is 18? Sorry, I've been sick, so I haven't been studying my numbers. What was the all-time high? 1887.50. I keep gotta write that down. So if we can hold this 78.50 and stay above the 5-day value area, look for them to push through to test this 84.75 and a push through to equalize the two highs and put the 1887.50 in the RTH. Of course, if we get below this 78 1/4, then we're getting inside of value again of the 5-day microcomposite value area, and I'd look for them to rotate back down to the 3 days price acceptance, or VPOC, down here at 1876.75 with a push through to test that level we were watching yesterday at 74. It shifted down. It was 74.50 yesterday. It's now shifted down to 74 1/4. And then below that, you'll have to come down to pick up buyers. I expect us to come down and test the 71.50 again, because they're going to run out of bullets up here. They're going to run out of inventory. They're going to have to advertise for the buyers, and this is where the buyers are really stepping in. And you can see that we've got these wicks down here between 74 1/4 and 66 1/4. The composite low volume nose shifted slightly with the volume that came in yesterday, but this is unproperly auctioned territory. And when you see a bunch of these wicks like this, there is a high probability that will come down and get stuck in these wicks. So if we get below this 74 1/4, I'm expecting more chop in this area between 74 1/4 and 66 1/4 as we properly auction this area. And I call that getting stuck in the wicks for those that have not been around. It's something that I watch. And then, of course, below the 66, we've got 63.50 below us, and then we've got the range low down at that 62 1/4. Remember, our 20-day ATR target's just below that at 1861.50. So if we break 66, I'm looking for a test of that 61.50 and a push through down to what is really the key line in the sand now, is this 1859.75. Because if we can't hold 1859.75, then I'm looking for a bigger retracement, and I'd be looking for a rotation all the way back down here into pick up buyers down here at this naked microcomposite VPOC at 1841.50, 1841.75 area. So let's take a look at the overnight numbers and move our numbers over and start setting up our chart for the day. So currently right now we've got 25 minutes to go. We have us trading near the highs from yesterday, so the overnight high, I'm sorry, trading near the highs of the overnight high, so we could make a new high, but currently right now the overnight high is 79.50. And then below us all the way down at 73.75, just above our VPOC from yesterday is our overnight low. And our current VPOC, really balanced profile. Inventory is net long from yesterday, so our overnight VPOC is currently at 76.25, and that's just below the value area from yesterday. So we're going to open up just inside of range or just outside of range, depending on what happens in the next 25 minutes. So the key area that I'd be watching for right now is you really can't trade off of the range high from yesterday. I think it's going to be too choppy there. But if we hold this 1878.25 and we stay above it, that's going to be a trade area that I'm going to be looking for. It's just slightly above the range, but if we can hold above that, remember that is the the key CLVN that I'll be watching for to go up and continue to make a new high. But if we can hold above that, then 96% probability of taking out the overnight high at 79.50, with the other side of balance being right at 81.75. So that would be the first target above the overnight high. Of course, the overnight high is the first target, but we mark our charts so that we know where we're going. 81.75, and then the target above that, of course, is the 1884.75, which is the RTH high, and our extended target for the day is, well, it's not really an extended target anymore because of where we are. So let me just edit that line here, because the extended target is going to be the ATR target, which is up at 91.25. And I'll mark that as an extended target when we get done. And you can see that I don't have any other trade areas up here because I really don't have anything to play off of other than the 84.75 and the 87.50. So I'll be looking for responsive sellers to step in here at these two levels. So they are targets, but they are also trade areas. So if you're in, I'll be long if we get into this anyway. So I'll be looking to scale and then move my stop ups to to protect me. Excuse me. Sorry about that. And then if we get back inside and below the 78.25, I'm looking for a rotation back down to the 77. We've got our naked close yesterday at 77, and it's the microcomposite 3-day VPOC and a push down to test the value area. So I'll be in the overnight VPOC. So I'll be using this area as well as a trade area and target. It's actually going to be just slightly lower. It's going to be in around this LVN at 75.50 because I want to make sure that I'm clearly inside of yesterday's value. But if we break below this LVN, then I'm looking for a rotation to take out the overnight low and take out the naked VPOC with a push down to the 71.50, which is my main target inside of yesterday's range. And then the other side of that, and an area that I'll be looking for responsive buyers to step in here, is this 1870 value area low, and just above the range from the prior day low and the IB low from yesterday. So this will be an area that I'll be looking for responsive buyers to step in. And of course, if we break below that, I'm looking to come down and test the other side of balance around this distribution at 71.50 at that 66.25, but it's really going to be the range low at 65.75 and what we were looking for yesterday. So that will be a target to the low side and an area that I'll be looking to do business. And then below that, it's 63.50, the CHVN, with the extended target being down here at this 1857.75 naked VPOC and range low, but we've got a naked close right here at 1860, and that 1860 is just above this 59.75. So that will be an intermediate target and a place that I'll be looking for to do business again, because they're going to try to hold above it. This is a key line in the sand for us, because if we get below this 15.59, we're looking for a bigger rotation all the way down in towards that 41.42 area. Let's take a look at how that looks on the Keltner with the Renko. 76.75 is our current line, Keltner center line. That's right above the overnight VPOC and that LVN that I'm looking to do business. What just happened there? I just shifted something on my chart. 63.50 is a target. Sorry, sometimes it shifts my chart. So 76.50 Keltner center line is the VPOC area from overnight. Of course, if we hold the upper Keltner line is all the way up at that 82 area, and our main target above the range from the prior day. And then if we get below the Keltner center line, a test of the lower Keltner will bring us down to 1870.50, which is our value area low, our IB and range low from the prior day. So you can see how why I watch the Keltner in addition. I make my decisions off of the profile because I trade auction logic and volume profile, but I watch the Keltner to give me guides, and I have some trade setups that I use. Let's take a quick look at gold. We're still watching this major pattern in gold. This is a longer term. We've been watching this. I first posted this all the way back, back in 2013. We were watching for this. This is a descending, broadening wedge, and we were watching for the breakout. We had tested it twice, and once we broke out, we were looking for a rotation up into the first target was 13.15, and with the secondary target being the swing high up here at 61. We've now started to set up for a possible cup and handle formation. We're holding the right rim so far, but we're getting some consolidation here. I'm still looking for the possibility, not a probability, a possibility that we set up with the handle, this cup, the handle to validate this pattern. We have to get a retracement down here into this 1287.50 area. That's the minimum retracement. It's actually slightly a little higher. Bulkowski uses 35%. I use the 38.2 fib. But anywhere between this 80, call it 1290 area, and all the way down here to this 1244, and again, Bulkowski uses 60%, so you can get that move down to that 1240 area, which is a key area in gold we'll take a look at. That will set up with a possible bigger pattern, and remember, we're playing off of a major bottoming pattern in gold. So if this cup and handle sets up, you're going to see me buying gold like you've never seen me before, because we've got a measured move all the way up to 1524. And I still think that we're going to get a much bigger move in gold. But we do need to get a retracement, and I'm looking for that retracement to come down between 1290 and 1240. And let's take a look at what that looks like on the composite. We can see currently right now we're in this balance area with the value area high at 1344.50, which is just below the CLVN at 1345.30. We're currently holding it. We're finding balance here right now in around this 1350 area, with the other side of that balance being 1352.10. So if we break above 1352.10, look for them to come up and challenge the range high at 55.25, and then break out there. The targets above still same as we've been talking about for days: 63.70, 77.40, with the big target up here at 1387 or 1386.90, call it, and that's from that balance area that we fell out of from all the way back in April of 2013. If we get below this 45 and get inside of the value area, your destination points is at 1340 as your main target below, but the big target is that 1334 microcomposite VPOC, which is where we keep coming down and finding buyers. And then the other side of that balance and the value area low on gold is down here in the 1329, 1328.75 area. And if we get outside of value, the big destination point is you've got to be looking for is in this 1320 area. And then just below that, remember the 1315, that was our target with the breakout of the descending broadening wedge. That would be the secondary target that I'd look for them to pick up buyers and hold us in this distribution area. But if we get below this 1304.50, sell, 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 because we'll probably get that move down to set up the handle on the cup and handle, and the first destination is that 1290 with that 1288.30 setting up as validation of the handle, but we can still go all the way down and still have a valid cup and handle formation all the way down here. And see how it's setting up that if we can't hold, we could get a big move down back to the microcomposite VPOC from this balance area that we traded in, back at January 10th through to the breakout that happened at February 10th. So we spent 30 days trading, in around this 1240, and it is the major destination point, and it still validates that cup and handle. And look for buyers to step in, take us back up, break above that rim line, and take us with a much bigger move up into the 1500s. So that's what I'm looking at for gold. Howard, I didn't see if he even showed up. Did he show up?
Hey, Doug, no, Howard is not available this morning.
Okay, so that is going to complete our, did we just go up and make a new high while I was talking? Oh, so let me see if I've got to make an adjustment here, because this is going to change things slightly too, because no, we're still 79.50, but it looks, if we hold here, it looks like we're going to open auction out of range. And of course, if we open auction out of range, the first thing you always will be out of range, out of value, and you've got to look for initiative buyers stepping in and just taking us right up. So if we can hold this 82.25 on the open, then I'd be looking for a push through to take out the overnight high and go and hit our first target at 81.75. But if we get below the 78.25, if we get below that, then look for them to come down and take out the naked close and test the value area high from here. But you always, whenever you get an open auction out of range, you've got to look for initiative buyers or sellers. In this case, we're above, so it's initiative buyers to step in and get some type of, so you're going to be looking for two things. You're going to be looking for an open drive, okay, where they just don't rotate it on the open. They just, initiative buyers step in and take us off. Or you're looking for a open rejection reverse, where they come down, tag the key area, and then take off. So be careful on the open. Watch what the opening swing is. If there isn't one, don't try to fade an open drive in this circumstances. It can be killer, because they can just take us and blast us off and go up and equalize that high and take out this 84 and equalize this high at 87.50. Anyway, that is what I'm looking at. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we will catch you on the flip side.